This is me, it's Queen Elsa Heru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Okay, guys, so today, we just got a letter. All right, let's check it out. It says, "Hi, Queen. Hey. So I have a little situation and wondering and hoping you would make a video response if worthy. I am a Capricorn, 31 years old, and have been talking to a Leo, 38 years old, for a month and a half. He's never been married and no children. Pretty good. We went on a date early December. Date went okay, but he was painfully shy, so we lost touch. 2 weeks later, he reached out, wanting to see me again. He is very sweet and different in a good way. So I decided to give him a chance. So far, we have been out a few times. He even met my daughter, something I usually don't allow. I definitely agree with that. Everybody should not meet your kids. I definitely agree with that. If you're not serious about them or see a major potential with them, I say no, no, no. This is where the issue comes in. His mother was very ill, and he had mentioned it to me. A week ago, he kind of went missing in action, so I reached out. Turns out his mother was found dead in her apartment. So sad. I don't know how to continue with the situation without being overbearing and annoying. He continues to be very responsive to my texts, etc., but seems out of it. But of course, I don't blame him. We all grieve differently. What kind of behaviors from him would you consider to be normal at this time? How can I be there for him? Should I even try to be there for him? How can this affect our situation, being that it happened so early on? I enjoy him and would like to see where this goes. Help." Well, let's get right into your questions. Number one, what can you expect from him? I was talking to a clinical psychologist, and I asked her about this case, and I asked her what she thought. And she and I came up with exactly the same thing, which was refreshing. Basically, number one, what can you expect from him? There's something called the stages of grief. I'm going to put a link, so you can understand all of them underneath this video. Basically, I expect him to go through the stages of grief. And the stages of grief can be any, like there's a denial, there's a shock phase, there's different phases to it until you come to finally the last phase, somewhere around acceptance. So basically what we expect from him is to go through the stages of grief. Now, when a person is going through the stages of grief, you don't really know how they're going to behave. What are normal behaviors? Crying, not crying, talking, not talking, shutting down. One of my friends, her grandmother died, and we didn't see her for 3 months. Literally, she didn't contact any of us. She didn't take our calls. She didn't hang out. She didn't get on social media. She just disappeared for 3 months. We couldn't even get her at the door. And then after those 3 months, she went right back to her regular old activities. She just needed time alone. So everybody grieves differently. So anything that he does, from talking to not talking to appearing to not to disappearing, is normal. Anything he does, even if it seems weird for him, is normal. Because right now, there is no normal. The rug has been pulled out from underneath him. When your mom or your dad or somebody who's a caretaker, somebody you're close to passes away, it's the most devastating blow. It's kind of like getting hit by a truck, you know? So right now, judging by what you said, it sounds like he's in shock. And that's usually one of the first stages. Shock, denial, those kind of things are usually in the first stages. So 9 times out of 10, that's where he is. So you can expect him to have any kind of behavior at this point. How you can be there for him without being a pain in the ass is just checking in, just checking in, texting, hey, how are you? Did you have a good day? Did you eat something? You know, those kind of little things. Not being too pushy. I probably wouldn't do it more than once a day, you know. Just checking in to see if he's all right, you know. He might feel like talking. He might not. As long as he's responding, I would check on him once a day. If he stopped responding, I would check on him twice a week, you know, just to see if he'd respond. If he didn't respond for a long time, I would just keep dropping something once a week and just letting him know. But you said he was responsive, so that's actually really good. Hopefully he'll stay that way. Should I even try to be there for him? Yeah, that's how you be there for him, just by letting him know that you're willing to listen, letting him know that you're there if he wants a shoulder to cry on. You know, that's all you can do, is create the space and let him know the space is there. He has to be the one that decides to go to the space or not, you see. And sometimes, like I said with my friend, some people don't want to talk during that time. I had another friend, when her brother died, everybody came to see her. She received us all, and we all sat, we all talked with her. So different people do this in different kinds of ways. So I would try to be there for him. How can it affect you guys that it happened so early on? Well, happening early on is bad on one hand, because you don't know him well enough to know what's normal. Remember, you said, what kind of behaviors can I expect to be normal? We don't know his normal. We don't know what's normal for him. You haven't known him long enough to establish a pattern. So unfortunately, you're not going to know that part. That's the bad part about it happening early on. But, and also you're not very close. When something like this happens in the beginning, you're not very close, so you can only be but so much there for him. A person you were closer to would be more likely to reach out. Somebody you don't know may or may not reach out, you know. But like I said before, even when it is somebody that you've known for a long time, they sometimes don't reach out. All of this is normal. So if I were you, like I said before, I would create the space. I will let him know I'm here for him. You know, I would check on him, you know, once a day. I'd check on him, see if he's okay. But like I said before, this could take him a while. I've seen people grieve over a parent. I've seen people grieve over a parent for years. So it just depends on the kind of grieving process that he goes through. So I want you to check out these stages of grief that I'm going to put underneath this video. And I just want you to remember one important thing that the clinical psychologist said to me, and I agree with. You have to be patient with this process, because being there for him and, you know, holding his hand through this process is not something that's going to be very easy for either of you. You're going to have to be patient with him. You're going to have to be understanding. You're going to have to be compassionate. And you're also going to have to accept that your relationship may or may not resume the way it was going before right away. When somebody's grieving, they might not want to be caught up in romance. They might not want to go on dates. They might not want to come hang out. And then they might. They might feel lonely. They might want somebody to talk to. So you have to just be open and accepting and compassionate of whatever it is he comes forward with, until you see he's on the other side of this, until he's feeling better, until his world has come back, has grounded again, you know. When it's a mother, it's a very big deal for many people, you know. Our moms are like the most important person in the world. So, you know, a lot of times, especially, I don't know if he was close to his mom, but if he was close to his mom, that makes it even worse. So you have to be very patient with him and very compassionate and very understanding of where he is. And like I said before, he may not be feeling the most romantic. He may not be feeling like, you know, doing whatever you guys talked about doing before. He may not be at that space yet. And then again, he might want to get his mind off of it and do those things. So I would kind of follow his lead. I would just, you know, put the space out there and I would follow his lead, and I would be there. I'd be there with open arms for him, and I wouldn't expect anything from him. When somebody's going through something like this, you can't really expect anything from them. Like I said, he might disappear, he might continue to come around. I wouldn't have any expectations at this point. I would just be somebody who's willing to be open. And I also would be understanding that this may not go anywhere, or it may not go anywhere quickly. It might take him a year to deal with this, and your relationship may be on the back burner for that whole year. You never know. It might be a few years, So that's why I'm saying you don't know how things are going to play out. So just be very open, very, just kind of like, hands off, kind of approach. Whereas you are open, the space is there, but you're not pushing for your agenda or trying to get your needs met or trying to start a relationship with him. I just would stay back. I would support him as much as he wanted to be supported. And if he wanted to go further from there, I would just follow his lead. Okay? And if you do that, you have a really good chance of him coming towards you. Because remember, obstacles and adversity makes relationships stronger sometimes. Sometimes an obstacle, adversity, a death, something like this bonds people. So if he does come to you and the two of you do, support him through this and the two of you mesh in that kind of way, you might find out later that this situation, although tragic, has actually bonded the two of you. So you never know. And it also could do the flip. It could make him totally shut down. It could make him totally shut off. So you have to be open and prepared for either outcome and know that they're both possible. Okay? I hope that helps you. Thank you so much for your letter, and take care. Okay, guys, if you guys would like to send me a love donation, I'm going to leave my PayPal. If you would like to get a tarot or an oracle card reading, please email me. I'll leave my email. If you want me to answer a free general question, drop it under the comment section or email it to me. You also can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. I take messages there as well. So I'll drop my information under here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've been in this situation before, please let us know in the comment section, how did you deal with it? Did you ever meet somebody and their parent or close loved one die shortly after? What did you do? Thanks, guys. See you later.